So if you own your own business and you're looking to be more efficient in terms of how you operate and even financially, I'm just going to cover some basic tips on how to do that. So for starters, when it comes to being more efficient with operations, this is a big thing for me. I've always been someone who looks for efficiencies in operations from, the very earliest jobs that I had as a teenager, just finding ways to be faster and, not waste time. Really important to me. And I think that's a good thing to look for as a business owner, always trying to find ways to improve. It's going to be good for you in terms of maybe having less stress, maybe having less work, and hopefully having, a better net income and maybe even happier employees if you can become more efficient with your logistics and your operations. So just a couple examples of how you could be more efficient with your operations would be preparing things before clients need them in some cases. When I was a teenager working at a restaurant, we would prepare some common things because we knew that they were going to be ordered so that it would save us time and we could serve our clients or our customers faster in that regard. Another idea would be to use client intake forms. Like if you need to gather some information from your clients before serving them, rather than going back and forth having conversations, sometimes it could just make sense to make, a form on Google or on some other website to just send to them and gather their information. Because I know of some people who will just kind of text back and forth with their clients or email back and forth, when you could just send them a link, they fill out that information, then you have it saved. It's very uniform, it's very consistent with what you're giving to other clients. So that can be a good option too. And doesn't even necessarily have to be for like new clients. That could be for new jobs for existing clients too. So make sure you're using technology to your advantage, whether that's forms or different things on your website or whatever. Another example would be with scheduling. I think using scheduling software can be really valuable. Even just scheduling yourself, like mapping out what your week looks like and documenting that. Using scheduling software, I think, can be really useful. I use that for clients who are booking consultations with me, whether those are initial consultations, ongoing meetings, or follow-up consultations. And then I have that linked so that it automatically generates a link for a Google video call if that's what they choose. That can be really useful if you are at an office where you need to share boardrooms or something like that. Using scheduling software and having, scheduling plans set up can be a good way to become more efficient in your business operations. Another way to be more efficient with your business operations would be when it comes to banking. I generally recommend, having a separate business bank account for your business activity, and same thing with a credit card. And if you do that, then it's kind of all in one place. You're not having to look through your personal bank accounts and credit cards to find business expenses. And then with most banks, you should be able to just download your bank statements. And if you can download them, oftentimes you can just automatically input those into spreadsheets or bookkeeping software. And so that'll save you a lot of time for record keeping for your financials so that you're not having to pick apart different bank statements and you're not having to upload those manually or anything. So that's a good way to become more efficient too. Of course, there's tons of ways you can become more efficient, but those are just a few examples from a logistical standpoint. Another way to look at efficiency would be with like staff operations or labor. How can you make your employees more efficient? That could be as simple as just scheduling appropriately, making sure you're having enough people on during busy times and not having too many people on during slow times. If it is inconsistent and that's hard to prepare for, sometimes it's just having your employees or even yourself focus on tasks in your free time to help, make things smoother in the future. Often for myself, that's what I do in my business. I don't have employees, but if I have a slow day or a slower period, I'm looking for ways to improve my process. How can I be better prepared for the next client? How can I make my website smoother? How can I be better with my billing or my invoicing? How can I create templates that can allow me to do my work faster? So I think that's really important to do, and to always look for those improvements to save yourself time, to save yourself money, to make it easier both for yourself, your staff, but then on top of that, your clients as well. And now lastly, another type of efficiency would be financial efficiency. So how can you be financially efficient in your business, meaning not spending more than you need to, not being wasteful with money? I think in that case, it's important to really analyze your financial records. So, look at your transactions, look at your revenue, look at your expenses. How can you reduce those expenses? Are you spending money on things you don't really need? Or is there a cheaper option for some of those things that you do need? Could you, spread out those costs in a different way than you are? Could you get a discount for paying up front on something you know that you're going to use over time? So I think it's really good to analyze your business expenses and make sure you're getting good value for those expenses. Don't be afraid to spend money on your business. Just make sure that the money you spend is delivering something to help you and your business grow and succeed. And then when it comes to revenue, how can you be more efficient with your revenue? That could be even little things like finding ways to make sure all your customers and clients are paying upfront or upon receiving the product or the service that you're giving them, not having accounts receivable outstanding for a long period of time. So that might just be reminders to them. That might be creating a way where they have to pay upfront or giving them a discount to pay upfront. Different things like that can be implemented. Looking for ways to upsell certain products or services to generate more revenue per customer can be really useful, and that's something a lot of businesses do. So there are a ton of different ways to become more efficient financially, more efficient in terms of labor and human inputs, ways to improve efficiency in terms of just business operations. And I think as a business owner, it is really important to find ways to be more efficient. So hopefully this gave you some ideas and tips as to how you can improve those things. If you like the video, please click like. If you want to check out my channel, I have well over 100 videos now on business startup and management topics. And if you have a question on any of those topics, feel free to leave it in the comment section below and I will address it when I get a chance.